welcome to episode 172 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about the next steps you have to do to actually get credit. When you're in a rebuilding stage, let's talk about what you actually have to do to start rebuilding. So the first thing is you got to assess what your situation is. Everybody have different situations, so you have to see where you're at. Actually get your credit report, look at your credit reports, and get all three credit reports. You can get them for free at annualcreditreport.com. I always have a link down below where you can get your credit scores and your credit reports. All three of them. They have $1 trial, Identity IQ for $1. I have that down below. But you guys have to get your credit reports and see exactly where you at and see exactly what your score is. You got to know where you're at first. So definitely get your credit reports. And I definitely suggest that you guys create a budget and a financial plan so you can know, like, what are you doing? Are you going to be paying off your debt? Are you just trying to increase your credit score? Are you going to be saving for future expenses? Like, what are some of your goals? And I want you guys to develop a budget, because when you have credit cards, you always can think, or if you start building up your account, you always think, oh, I can just use this extra money and I'll just pay it back. But if you're not budgeting and you don't know exactly how much you have coming in, you don't know how much you could possibly, well, how much you could pay back. So definitely make sure you guys create a budget and a financial plan, because it's going to help you. And if you guys have any negative accounts in your credit reports, please address them. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys how you guys can get free dispute letters to address these different accounts. But dispute your errors on your credit report, and then do any type of negotiations. If you want to negotiate or settle an account, this is the best time to do it. And negotiation can be just paying down debt. You could do the snowball method, where you're going to do the smallest to largest, or you can prioritize your debt with like the avalanche, where you're doing the highest interest rate down, until you get to the lowest one. You're just listing them. Figure out whatever you want to do to pay off your debt. Find out what method is good for you, and think about paying down some debt if you guys do have debt while you're trying to rebuild. And make sure you guys establish a positive credit history. So you want to make sure when you open a new account, um, you're not having any type of missed payments. Put everything on auto pay. Make sure you guys keeping your utilization very, very low. I always say 5% whenever you want to apply for something. But just making sure you're paying a statement balance by the due date to not be charged any interest. Those are the two things I like to make sure that I live by. And if you guys are doing that, you're going to be establishing history. And make sure you have at least 4 credit cards and 2 installment accounts, really, to get you a nice amount of history, so you can really get you a house, get you a car right after those start aging, literally. So monitor your credit regularly too. So I want you guys to start looking at your credit reports. Every morning I wake up, I look at my credit reports. And also, if you guys are not like every morning, I look at my credit, I look at my bank accounts. If you guys are not every morning, then try to do it just every week. See how that goes for you. So try to see if you can just check, say, hey, every Friday after I get paid or whatever it is, I'm going to just look at my credit scores, credit reports, and see if there's anything changed, see how much my credit scores went up and how much it actually went down. Now, make sure that you guys maintain good financial habits throughout this process. And when I say maintain good habits, maintaining good habits is just some of the stuff I said, just auto pay for everything, having your budget, paying down any debt, keep your utilization low. These are great habits. And if you feel like you're getting lost, you have any questions, make sure you guys seek professional advice. And if you guys ever have any questions for me, you guys can call me. My phone number is 833-Rickita, or you can go right here to my website, Rickita.com, and schedule a call. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you all may have. Hey, welcome to episode 173 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about how many credit cards you should have. Now, I think I have a very simple answer to this, and I don't want to waste anybody's time. And a very simple answer is have as many credit cards as you can actually handle. And you have to understand what come with credit cards. Now, usually when you start getting credit cards, you just say, okay, I want to start building my credit. And then you start thinking, oh, I want to get credit cards for the rewards. You may start going down different paths, but I always go back to the point where I want you guys to be able to responsibly manage it. If you cannot responsibly manage your credit cards, making sure all your credit cards, the statement balance is paid by the due date, because if you're not doing that, you're just giving away money to these companies and you're going into debt, because they're going to be able to charge you interest. So if you're not doing that, making sure that all of them are paid on time, everything is on auto payment, auto pay, you're keeping your utilization down, and you're not overusing it. Like if you can't do those things, then please make sure you guys just limit it to what you can manage. I do have a sheet that I use, and I gave it, I'm going to make sure I attach it to this video, but I had a sheet that I was using where I actually lined up all my credit cards and I put the due dates on them, and I put what's my limit. It's a thing that can actually help me track my utilization and also track my credit cards. And sometimes too, if I have 0% APR credit cards, I have them highlighted so that I can track those also. But I use this sheet, and I think that you guys should use this also. Make sure that you keep your credit cards organized, keeping them in one space. Sometimes I don't know if you guys may have this problem, but sometimes I have to switch out certain credit cards that I may be using. Maybe I'm trying to put more money on one credit card to ask for an increase for it, or whatever the case may be. So I have to make sure I switch out my credit cards, but I try to keep all of my other credit cards that I'm not using, or I don't have in my wallet for everyday use. I try to make sure I keep them put up. So make sure you guys are keeping your credit cards put up. But to start off, you want to just build your credit. Just start off with about 4 credit cards, and make sure that you're paying the statement balance by the due date. Make sure that you're budgeting to know how much you can technically spend, and track what you're going to be using each credit card for. So make sure you know. So I say, okay, my Walgreens credit card, if I'm going to Walgreens, I want to do some couponing, I want to get a lot of stuff for free, I want to use my Walgreens credit card, because it's going to make it so that I'm getting all of my stuff at my home for free. And I know, okay, that's what that credit card is for. I'm not going to use it for anything else. And then I know, okay, this my Discover card I'm going to use for this. I'm going to use my American Express. I'll know exactly what I'm going to be using each credit card for, because I'm looking at also my cash back that I am receiving. But start to know what you're going to use each credit card for, or if it's a credit card you're just going to have just to have open, just have there maybe for, you already got your emergency fund. Make sure you guys have your emergency fund put to the side, at least $1,000 minimum. Have that to the side. But maybe you want to have a credit card and say, okay, I got $5,000 here. If something was to happen, at least I can tap into that, or whatever the case may be for you all. But just make sure, no matter what, you guys can manage it. And if you're not, again, paying the statement balance by the due date, you guys are paying a lot of money in interest, and you really should probably slow down with your credit use and pay down or pay off those credit cards and do balance transfers. But if you find yourself in that situation, definitely seek a professional. And I'm going to make sure I put that sheet down below so that you guys can actually download it, because it's going to help you all a lot in terms of tracking your credit.